Hello and welcome to my channel. So recently I did a couple videos about this tarot card readathon that I'm going to be a part of. I did a whole video for the TBR, like picking the cards from the tarot deck, and it was a good time and I had fun. So I will link that video below because I'm not going to get too deep into my TBR and why I picked it. I'll also link below the video explaining the whole tarot card readathon since I am not the host. But I thought it would be fun to do kind of like a reading vlog through the whole readathon. I believe this goes from July 10th to July 21st. These are the books that I'm reading: An Anonymous Girl, Brave New World, Lord of the Flies, and Fable. So today is actually July 12th. So it is the third day. Dates confuse me and stuff like that. I think it's the third day of the readathon, and I started with this book, An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I actually picked the moon card, which I think is kind of interesting because like the dates of this readathon are guided by the moon. Anyway, so the prompt for the moon card is to read a mystery or a thriller, and this is a psychological thriller. I'm on page 178, so I'm like pretty much halfway through it. And so this book is actually like really interesting. So we follow Jessica, who is a makeup artist in New York. She becomes aware of an experimental study kind of thing, and she's gonna get paid $500 to go to the study and answer questions on morality and ethics. So she's not technically supposed to be in the study, but whatever, she ends up being there. And the psychologist who's working on this, Dr. Shields, takes special interest in Jessica and kind of makes the experiment more geared towards Jessica and brings her further in the study than the original questions. And it's interesting because we can kind of see how the study is very personal to Dr. Shields, and it's kind of evolving into something else where we're kind of seeing some manipulation happening and we're seeing hints to things that aren't quite right. So I don't want to give too much away because I don't know how popular this book is actually. I know the first book, these are the same authors who wrote The Wife Between Us, and I think that one was pretty popular maybe a couple years ago. I mean, this one came out a while ago too, a couple years ago. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away from it because like I don't want to, no spoilers, you know? But yeah, so I'm about halfway through with this one, and that's great. That's like further than I thought it was going to be. I want to spend maybe 2 more days on this so that I can move on to the other 3 books on my TBR and hopefully get through all 4 of them in this like 11 days. It's probably not going to be possible. So what I've been doing actually is very, very helpful is I've been listening to the audiobook as well as reading it in person. So like I'll read it and listen along at the same time. And that's really helping with my attention span and my focus. Like, as much as I absolutely love reading, there gets to be these times where I'm just thinking about literally everything else in the entire world. So listening to the audiobooks, which was suggested to me from like another YouTuber, so thank you so much for that suggestion. It's been helping so much. So yeah, having a good time with this. Day 3 of the readathon. Hello, good morning. It's like Saturday and I just woke up like 5 minutes ago, and I figured now is a perfect time to update the tarot card readathon. So I've been meaning to do this update for a while now. I think on Thursday, I can't exactly remember which day, like a good couple days ago, like Wednesday or Thursday, I finished this book. So I ended up giving this 3 stars because I read their previous book, The Wife Between Us. I think that was their debut novel, and I really loved it. And so because of that, I had a little bit higher standards for this book, which I kind of wish I didn't do, because if I had lower standards, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Okay, so here's some of the problems I was having with it. It's alternating point of views, which I really don't have a problem with, even though I know the past 2 books that I read on BookTube that have alternating point of views, I told you I didn't like it because of that, but there's reasons for that. So I didn't like this alternating point of view because one perspective was first person and the other perspective was this like passive second person, and I really don't enjoy second person. Like, it's very difficult to do a second person point of view, and I feel like they fell a little bit short with that. Like, maybe they bit off too much they could chew with that. I get what they were trying to do, I just didn't like it. And then I'm not going to give any spoilers for any of these books, but getting towards the climax of the story, I kind of feel like it fell a little short and the ending was a little bit like unsatisfying. It's definitely a good book. I definitely would suggest this to thriller lovers, and specifically psychological thriller lovers. It just wasn't for me for a number of reasons. So 3 stars, and I already added all of my points to Team Wands, and then I moved on to Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. So this is a sci-fi dystopian, and it starts off with them kind of explaining the world, a lot of the science that goes behind why this world is different from ours. So they create all babies in labs, and they have this new system for it. So like essentially from one egg, they're creating 96 max babies. So they're just like cloning basically. And then from this cloning, the babies go into these classrooms. So these babies are going into these like classroom type situations where they are conditioned on how to live in the society that it is. I'm only on page 35, so I'm still in the beginning science chapters. I don't actually know what the story is. So this book is one of those books that like a lot of people read for high school, at least like in my area, a lot of people read it for high school. And I politely declined and I read the Spark Notes version. So I kind of know about what it's about, but I don't actually know the story. So I'm looking forward to actually reading the story, seeing what it is, but also like I'm falling a little bit behind. So today is the 16th, 17th, 15th, around that area. So I only have like 5 more days, between 4 and 5 more days of this readathon to like actually finish these books. So goal for today is to read halfway through this so that I only have like 100 pages to read tomorrow. All right, just a little update on the tarot card readathon. Today is Monday and the tarot card readathon ends on Wednesday, so that's 3 days left, and at this point I have read 1 singular book. I was reading Brave New World, but I was reading this for like a week and I read 36 pages. I'm having the same issue with this as I had it the first time I tried to read it in high school. I can't get into it. And I've been avoiding it and I just can't, I'm not vibing with it, you know? So I haven't fully decided to DNF it for all of July, but I'm putting it down for the readathon and I'm picking up a different book with the hopes of being able to finish that book in the next 3 days to kind of have like 2 books for the readathon, you know? So I'm picking up Lord of the Flies. This book is 235 pages. I figure if I read around 75, 80 pages a day starting today, then I should be able to finish this by Wednesday. Okay, so here's what happened. I didn't start reading this. So today's actually Saturday the 24th. I said I was gonna start reading this on Monday, and then on Monday, I ended up just spending time with my fiance, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, there's just some personal stuff happening, so I didn't end up actually reading any of this. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll just read my 1 book for the tarot card readathon and that'll be that, whatever. So then I went on the Discord to see kind of how the point system were working out. Turns out the tarot card readathon ends today, not Wednesday. Bruh, when I tell you I'm upset. So in the first video I watched explaining the tarot card readathon, they said that it starts the 10th and it ends the 21st, which was Wednesday. And then in the Discord, all of a sudden, it ends on the 24th, but whatever, okay, whatever. If I knew that, I could have read this book and I wouldn't have put so much pressure on myself thinking I had to read this whole thing in 3 days. I would have had a whole week to do it. But I mean, like, I'm not actually upset. I'm just like more mad at myself because if I would have looked up the rules, then I would have known the actual dates of it. But you know what, it's fine. It's fine. Also in the Discord, they didn't have the final points up yet, but I want to post this video actually today. So just based off of the last update, Team Wands was in last place on both of the trophies, so I can't help but feeling partially responsible for that. Chloe, I'm filming. So then I was thinking that I didn't really want to post this because this is supposed to be like a week and a half reading vlog and I only read one book and 36 pages of another, and I kind of felt a little bit like a failure. But that's just kind of like a toxic mentality, so I decided I'm gonna post this anyways because reading is a hobby. It's not a you have to do this kind of thing. It's a you do it when you want to. And I kind of forget that sometimes when I set deadlines for myself, and I kind of just stress myself out. But the fact of the matter is I read for fun. And so I don't want to not post this video because I didn't meet my deadlines. I still had fun reading my one and only book. I did a lot of stuff. I figured out new ways of reading, of just like, you know, listening to audio while following along with the book. I've been doing that with some of the other books and it's really helped with my focus. And I've also learned that I don't have to read books like this to be considered a reader. Like, I have to read books I want to read and that I enjoy reading. I mean, I still want to read these books. It's just now is not the time. Now is a time where I want to binge read all of the Gillian Flynn's on my shelf, or I want to read every single Stephen King that's ever existed. Like, these are the things that I want to do. So I need to stop putting pressure on myself. So moral of the story is, if you're not meeting your reading deadlines, reassess your priorities. Reading is for fun. Reading is a hobby. We do this to de-stress. So don't make it stressful. So that's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to make, even though it was kind of a mess. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.